The only thing I want is sort of like, tell us the truth. I mean, just transparency, go for it. Good, bad, horrible, fantastic. Just be transparent. But what I've seen over the years is like, holy moly, we are being lied to here on a scale that is just on a local level, on a national level, and on an international level. And it seems like they're somehow coordinated. We're all in it. And during the COVID operation, they amped up the game. So suddenly, before that, people could be like, yeah, I'm not really into conspiracy theories, or, oh, it's too dark for me. Then suddenly it was in your face. You were locked in your apartment. You could not move. Yeah, it was such a coincidence. We were actually having a security drill, some 1,500 people involved in this security drill with the exact same scenario. And then suddenly it went from slow-mo to real action. It's incredible. What is going on in the world right now is a joint effort to get you into this one world fascist state. Like, I'm sorry if I hear, messing you of bad news, but it's like there is one thing that comes back to you. So the way they have figured it out, I'm not saying it's true. I think it sounds sick, but anyway, the way they see it is if they tell us, even in subtle ways, what they're going to do, then if we don't react, then the bad karma's on our shoulders, not theirs. If you say conspiracy, their mind will automatically add the word theory.
Yeah.
They will automatically, so that shows you how this is better than the best Coca-Cola commercial ever. How did they do it? I don't know, but it's there. You say conspiracy and boom, they added the theories or theory with you not even having said it.
Right, I am so happy to be back with someone who I can now call my friend, Ole Dammegard.
Yay.
Yay, yay, yay. And Ole, when I invite people back routinely, it's because one, I really like them, and two, I so think that what you're doing is so important for every aspect of our health. Now, for those new listeners today, Ole Dammegard is a truth seeker, a code breaker, and a peacemaker. And I mean, your bio is just huge, but you have devoted your life to really exposing the truth and lifting the veil of deception. You're known as the expert on false flag events, and we're going to go over again for everyone today that's new to this what we mean by a false flag. But Ole has also been awarded the Prague Peace Prize, adopted by Apache Nation, which I think is the coolest thing ever, is an author, international speaker, former journalist, musician, composer, coach, artist, inventor, and investigator. But you've devoted 40 years of your life to really helping everyone understand these conspiracies. And I was just about to say, and we press record, because for me, Ole, so often people think when we're talking about these things that it's a bit soap opera, drama, drama. But actually, I'd love to start off by asking you, how can any of us make really good, sound decisions on our lives when everything we're being driven towards is a false conspiracy and a false narrative?
I don't know what to answer there. It's like if you see something, let's say that your sister starts dating a dude and you start seeing through his manipulation, you start seeing that, whoa, I saw you out in that place and last Tuesday, you say you were there, you start calling the lies, and then you see that this guy wants to marry her and take her to another country and turn her into another religion. And so it's like there's suddenly from just being like, okay, it's not really up to me to decide anything, but then you start seeing that, wait a second, this information, this energy is guiding somebody you care about in a dangerous situation, because that can go really wrong, far away from where you are, where you can assist them, help them, or whatever. It's the same here. The only thing I want is sort of like, tell us the truth. I mean, just transparency, go for it. Good, bad, horrible, fantastic. Just be transparent. But what I've seen over the years is like, holy moly, we are being lied to here on a scale that is just on a local level, on a national level, and on an international level. And it seems like they're somehow coordinated. So I come from a very simple background, very simple mind. I mean, I'm very much like, I normally say 1 + 1 = 2. That's it. It's like, I don't care what area we're into. 1 + 1 = 2. Nature is like that, you know. And then we're being told 1 + 1 = -49. So go that way. And I'm like, what? So not doing that, because like I have no idea why you are lying, but it's very obvious that you are lying. And it doesn't matter if you got like a whole long title or you got like a powerful position in society or whatever it is. That's just bullshit. That is not true. And so I have, I had no idea that I got myself into where I am now, no idea whatsoever. But I felt my whole life driven to try and understand things because I've been confused. It's so I don't get it. I don't get it. And then I see the result. It's like people are getting hurt and people are getting controlled and surveillance cameras everywhere and anti-terror this and anti-terror that and billions of dollars and pounds are going into that. And then the more I have looked into alleged terror attack and alleged mass shootings, or I've looked into hundreds, if not thousands. And I mean, I go deep, you know that,
Yeah.
Catherine. I dig. It's like this: shovel shit, shovel shit, shovel shit, and shovel shit to get to the real truth. I've been on location on many of these ones, even stopping some of them, active operations. And so over the years, I'm now considered #1 in the world.
Yeah.
How did that happen? But I mean, the people who are saying that are heavyweight dudes, you know, in intelligence and black ops and CIA and these type of things. So it comes with some weight. So how did that happen? I have no idea. But what I know is that I've I've over the years I've come to an understanding. It's like learning another language that nobody else knows except the one speaking it. You know, so I've learned the grammar, I've learned the expressions, I've learned all of these things because also a lot is said in between the
Yeah.
lies. Did I say lies? I think both lines and lies. So it's like, and then over the year, the more I've started seeing it, and then also years ago, I was contacted. This is the biggest gift for me ever, was that somebody on the inside contacted me and said, "You're doing great. I've been following you for years, but you miss out on the hidden clues." And I was like, what are you talking about? This was an anonymous person. I have no idea who it was. But I mean, this person pointed out and said details about certain operations. So I understood this one is on the inside, you know, feeling bad and wanted to come free, you know, like spill the beans. And anyway, so he said that due to the law of karma, the people that are carrying these operations out against us some of them feel very bad about it, or some of them fear the law of karma. What you do comes back to you. So the way they have figured it out, I'm not saying it's true. I think it sounds sick, but anyway, the way they see it is if they tell us, even in subtle ways, what they're going to do, then if we don't react, then the bad karma's on our shoulders, not theirs. And so they free themselves of guilt by showing us in subtle ways, like like this, like a manipulating, like a magician that is just
Yeah.
like, ooh, you know, you're feeling sleepy like this, but still they're telling us. So it was in the spring of 2015 that I understood that this was actually true, that they're hiding hidden clues about upcoming attacks. When I understood that that was a fact, I didn't look for anything else. I've been focusing on finding the hidden clues, and I've become really good at it because they make it difficult. They really make it difficult. The better we get, the harder they make it. So, but thanks to that, which is an incredible blessing in disguise when you think of it, that they're telling us this is what we're going to do. Then all we have to do is find a hidden clue and stop it before it goes live. You know, so I think it's is it 77 of them I connected or exposed up to 3 months before they happened, and said, it's going to happen over there. It's going to happen there. How do you know? I just know it. It's there, that date, this, and boom, then it goes live. So you have to ask yourself, 77, that is a pretty impressive track record. Whoever you are, that is pretty good. So why have these authorities in the different countries not thought that this, whatever his weird name is, he's like predicted this whole thing? That means either he must be part of it, that he's part of this group who's carrying it out, or he knows something we don't know. Maybe we could learn something. So I have volunteered and said, please come here. I would be so happy to work with you. I will show you this. Have I ever been approached? Ever? Instead, I've been harassed, I've been threatened, I've had death threats, I've been shot, I've been almost hit by cars, I almost poisoned, I had to move country twice. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, so this is something very bizarre is going on. Now I've been informed I'm facing between 18 and 22 years in prison if I return to Sweden for the very same thing that I was adopted by the Apache Nation and giving the Prague Peace Prize. Does that sound a little bit weird to you? For me, it is like, okay, we are now in a situation in the world where everything is upside down. The world is not mad at all. They just turn it upside down. So bad is good, good is bad, black is white, white is black. Everything is. So you have to see it from that point of view. If you're confused, that means that what they will present to you as something good for you, insert this into your body, just jab yourself, it is because of health. Or don't eat cinnamon, or don't go there, and don't do this. If you turn it around, it's sort of cinnamon. Maybe I should look into cinnamon, and then you find, oh my God, they're trying to ban it. It's the best thing ever. So it's like upside down. There's a very dark force here that has been over the years working through people. It's a mindset to push humanity into a corner, I think, for different, you can see it as something bad. You can also see, thanks to them, these absolute super assholes, we are being pushed into a corner where we have to choose or listen or wake up, so-called wake up to what's going on or not. The choice is ours, but thanks to them, they're putting fire under our butt, so we can't be too lazy anymore. We're all in it. And during the COVID operation, they amped up the game. So suddenly, before that, people could be like, yeah, I'm not really into conspiracy theories, or, oh, it's too dark for me. Then suddenly it was in your face. You were locked in your apartment. You could not move. And people like me had said, well, I've just been talking and trying to tell you this for about 30 odd years. It's coming. It is coming. Smell the coffee. It's coming if we don't do anything. And most of us they were just too lazy slicing pizza and watching sports or whatever, X Factor, and not caring about their neighbor and not caring about each other enough to really get their thumbs out, their butt, and get up and say like, whoa, holy crap. If this is true, then something needs to be done. And I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about standing up in the truth. And very often, the way to stand up is just to say, no, I'm so not doing it. You want me to do all of these weird things? It's so not happening. I am listening to my heart. And the rest of it, thank you so much. Absolute no way in heaven or hell am I going to do that.
Yeah, it's so important, all that. And it's so interesting because I was sitting there last night thinking, why do so many people I know and are really good friends with not see or want to ask why about all these things? And I was thinking, Ole, from my point of view, because I've sort of spent my life seeing the world through animals' eyes and using a lot more than just the programming that we're fed, I think then it becomes very easily, because if you're looking at an animal that's got a behavioural issue or a physical issue, when you understand the why and the root cause of these things, the solution becomes so much easier, because so many people are saying, give me solutions, give me solutions. But if you don't understand where you're being manipulated, and this is so deep through the education, media, music, which you've done loads of, TV, this is so integrated into so much. I was listening to one of your interviews. Everyone must get on Ole's newsletter list. I'll put the link below, of course, because Ole shares his other interviews, and there's so much, not only in your other interviews, but on your website, in your deep dives and your webinars, which I really encourage everyone to do. Because look, you're not, if you're not happy with your life at the moment, it's because you're being manipulated to watch reality TV, spend time scrolling on social media, eat junk food, poison yourself, make yourself slow and unsusceptible. So these things have a real life meaning in every single person's eyes. I would like to ask you about conspiracy theory. We mentioned it in the start here. It's an easy excuse to throw at someone to shut someone down, deliberately so. For people that aren't familiar with the sort of history of that sort of derogatory throw, to tell someone they're a conspiracy theorist and they'll be embarrassed and shut up. Can you talk us through where that's come from, Ole?
Yeah. I mean, conspiracies is nothing new. It just means it's Latin. It means conspira. It's you breathe together, but it's become this. If two or more breathe together with a criminal mindset, either in planning or carrying out, it's called a conspiracy. Conspiracy to fraud, conspiracy to murder, conspiracy to whatever. In the English court system, conspiracy is all over the place.
Mm.
So. But the thing is that after the JFK assassination, which was carried out, an inside job with many, many very powerful power structures that was part of that assassination. I've devoted some 30 odd years into exposing that whole thing. But anyway, in 64, the CIA, who was deeply involved with the assassination itself, were freaking out because people started seeing like, whoa, this is so not on, that this is just a heap of lies. There's not a true word in the Warren Commission anywhere. So they wanted to come up, how can we shut the people up, people that are nosy and curious and are getting too close to the truth, which is us and our pals here in the background. How can we shut them up? And so they came up with this psychological operation called conspiracy, weaponized the word conspiracy theory and conspiracy theorist. The documents out there. So this operation was active from 64 to 67. This is during the years, with JFK, you had Malcolm X, you had, it was all the way up to just before Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy being shut down. But by then people were so deflated by all of the things that had happened. They lost hope in many ways, so there was not the same need. But this conspiracy theory and conspiracy theorist operation has kept on going in media, controlled by very few, even though there are many journalists on the street level. But if you look at the power structure, very few owners nowadays, like 6 in total in the US. We're talking radio stations, TV stations, book publishing companies, magazines, you name it, 6 owners or fewer. And they're just all the time becoming fewer and fewer. But anyway, so this agenda has been pumped out. And so what I find interesting is it does not matter who you talk about. If you say conspiracy, their mind will automatically add the word theory.
Yeah.
They will automatically, so that shows you how this is better than the best Coca-Cola commercial ever. How did they do it? I don't know, but it's there. You say conspiracy, and boom, they added the theories or theory with you not even having said it. And by the way, what does theory mean? Theory means making something visible. So it's like music theory. It's not a random guess. Like, I think this chord works with that. I have no idea, but I have a theory that maybe if we chuck in a minor chord there and a sus4 chord there, then they might work. No, music theory means making music visible. So the theory thing has been completely not, they turn it into that it sounds like it's speculation,
Yes.
that a theory is speculation. It's not at all. It's not at all. It means making it visible. So conspiracy theory is really interesting because you're making the conspiracy visible. How can that become something negative? It is actually quite positive when you think of it. But they've turned it into this weapon to shut people like me, you up.
Yes,
And
so true.
I just want to say, anyone that knows in their mind, if I say conspiracy, if they can hear the word theory, then know that they have been brainwashed into believing it. It is part of a weaponized campaign against humanity. That's what it is. So if it's in your head, well, join the club. We're all victims for these type of things.
Yeah, completely. And I think it's so important for people to really sit with that. And as you said, you know, if someone says conspiracy, do you immediately go to theory afterwards? Because the first part of taking back control of your life is to understand these facts and understand that we've all been programmed. They've done it absolutely brilliantly. But once you start seeing it, it becomes so much easier to start seeing it everywhere. I also wanted to ask you about the Tavistock Institute,
Yeah.
which is very significant in all of this.
Yeah. Can I just go back two
Mm.
seconds? Because the thing is, for instance, boom, boom, bombs explodes. Okay. You look in media, it says Abdul Karim Karumkara, whatever his name is, and with big black eyes and big black eyebrows, he did it. Okay. If that is true, then the problem is Abdul Karim Karumkara are making bombs before breakfast and wants to kill people. That is the problem. So the solution would be, let's go and see Abdul Karim Karumkara, make friends with him and say, this is not good. Please stop it. Yeah. Okay. That's option one. If instead, boom, boom, bombs go off, it's agencies in the background that are there trying to change the mentality and the mindset of the population so that they can control it, shape it, form it on so that it's management by fear or the strategy of tension, like the CIA calls it, to uh, terrorize populations into obedience through random violence. So if boom, 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 we're being pointed to Abdul Karim Karumkara and his cornflakes and homemade bombs, but it's actually them who are doing it. What is the solution? Is the solution to go and hunt down Abdul Karim Karumkara and his friends? Or is it to say, hang on, I'm not buying that one because I've checked it out 100 times. It's never him and his pals. Because where did they come from? The Muslim terrorist, he just came like this. Before that, it was Bulgarians and Poland. And during the Cold War, there was no Muslim terrorists. Now there are no Muslim terrorists again. Now there are other transgender mass shooters or all of this. It's like a trend.
Yeah,
But anyway, so the thing is, what I say is like, before I'm going to judge Abdul, I'm going to check out some things here first. And so I go with my shovel and I start digging. And every single time ever, like I said, I don't know, maybe 1,000 of these operations I looked into, something like that, hundreds and hundreds, alleged mass shootings, alleged terror attacks. I should be the number one leading expert on Muslim terrorists in the world. I know nothing.
mm,
I know nothing because I never find them because it's there. There is the problem. So find the problem, see the problem for what it is, understand the problem, then you can come with a solution. If you're being misled thinking the problem is over there, then you can never find a solution. So
yeah,
the Tavistock Institute that you just brought up very eloquently is a very, 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 very important, very dark institution that specialized in how to manipulate the mindset of populations. And they do it very cleverly through films, through music, through, you will see in the background, Tavistock is right there. How to get people to take the drugs, how to do this, how can we manipulate this and that, and also how can we shut people like this one down? Very often in the background, working together with different agencies, intelligence agency. It's like that's completely wrong. It's madness agencies that are on steroids going berserk. I don't know what they're up to, but it has nothing to do with intelligence. to mess things up. That's where the root cause is. But they're only the tools. You won't find the root of this whole thing there either, but they're the truth, they're very brutal tools that are carrying it out against us. So Tavistock, very important. There is, I think, an author, he's a Spanish guy called Daniel Estulin, who wrote about the Tavistock Institute. He also wrote a very, very interesting book called The Deconstruction of WikiLeaks. Sorry, folks, if you, like me, have been a believer of WikiLeaks, and that's the best thing after cornflakes, whatever, you know, like, once you start seeing who's in the boardroom, who's the financer, who is, you will see it's intelligence, it's the military industrial complex that are there with the whole community to divert our attention. They're throwing us all of these bones of valuable information, but to keep our attention away from what is the real source of a lot of these things. This is when controlled opposition is really, really dangerous. It's like when they appear like something really, really trustworthy. And that's how they get to us. They something out of nowhere, suddenly there's this explosion of incredible information coming from some new source. And everybody like, whoa, this is amazing. And then people start spending a lot of time looking at it, but also checking out, is this really true? Is it really true? Can this really? And then they find, yeah, it's 100% truth, 100% truth, 100% truth. Then after, when, you know, instead of thousands, we're starting to get up in hundreds of thousands and millions of people are starting to focus there. And then all of them had checked out, this is a reliable source, you know, we can really trust them. That's where suddenly from 100%, it goes down to maybe 95%. And then there's 5% of things that are completely wrong, but diverting or avoiding certain areas, certain groups or whatever it is, completely avoiding the root in these things. Then after a while, it's 80%, then it's 70, then it's in the middle. In the end, you don't know what is what. You know, it's like when they do these drama documentaries, when they make like documentaries, and some of it is built on screenplays.
Yeah.
Oh, this is dangerous. You know, for me, it's like then I completely believe that this is factual. No, it's not, but it's a good story. Yeah, but don't call it the truth.
Well, I think it's so interesting. We've just had in the UK a couple of things about that for people that are still struggling with this, if you're watching, and I understand why. In the UK, we've just had the heads of the BBC eventually resign because they were proven in one of their documentary series, Panorama, to have completely manipulated what President Trump said on January the 6th by splicing together different bits of his speeches. So a lot of people that are thinking, oh, hang on a minute, you know, we've been taught to trust these documentary series and things, they've completely manipulated us. But I'd also ask people to think about dogfights and things like that. It's funny to me, Ole, this cognitive dissonance that virtually every human has in some aspect of their life, where, you know, we understand that you can manipulate animal behavior very easily by the energy and what they're trained and the environment they're in. You know, you can take a perfectly lovely pet dog and put it with the wrong hands and they train it to be a fighting dog that's got no choice, it's kill or be killed. The same is true for us with this manipulation, and people can watch magicians on TV, or I don't even think a lot of them call themselves magicians now, illusionists. And they can watch this and they can say, wow, this is amazing. We've no idea how you did this. But then step out into real life and think that it's not being used, those tools and techniques in real life. So it's a fascinating dilemma, isn't it, for people?
Can I say one thing
Mm,
to spin on what you said? Panorama, that is, as far as I know, like a flagship for the BBC. It's been
mm,
this very heavyweight documentary. You can trust us. We are the BBC coming to you from whatever. Okay, so Panorama. Can I remind you, there was the London bombing, the 7/7 bombings,
mhm.
subway bombings. A lot of people got killed. A lot of people got completely messed up. Central London, 4 subway trains and 1 bus, if I remember right. Yeah. Okay, so Panorama had a program, I think it was about less than 1 year before, where they were simulating a crisis that had the exact same details of subway station or subway trains being blown up and a bus, where there were people from the media, there were people from the government, there were Peter Power, this individual that works in very, if you ask me, very shady areas. Anyway, so they were having this simulation of a crisis act that was identical to that. Okay, then boom, all of these bombs went off. All of this technology, whatever it was, there was not normal bombs in this attack. And then Peter Power was being interviewed, the same individual that was on that one. These things, I have the Panorama. You can follow it. It's like Event 201. They're going through the whole thing. They're doing it beforehand. It's a rehearsal in front of us so that, well, we're showing you, you did not react or nor remember, so it's up to you. Anyway, so Peter Power was being interviewed on BBC right when it happened. Boom, 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 people dying, flying everywhere, all of this thing. Peter Power was being interviewed, and he said, yeah, it was such a coincidence. We were actually having a security drill, some 1,500 people involved in this security drill with the exact same scenario. And then suddenly it went from slow-mo to real action. It's incredible. So the reporter's like, hang on, what are you saying that you had a drill? Yes, there was some Jewish bankers, this whole thing. So wait, so did you say that you had a drill with the exact same scenario? Yes, it's like it's almost chilling, he said.
Yeah.
It's like, what a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It was him and the rest of this pack that did it to you. And they used this flagship Panorama to show you. It is like this in your face, and this to the victims of this whole thing that has been struggling ever since.
Yeah.
But if you look at what happened, this was one of these random acts of violence against the whole nation, where they just smack you into a trauma, a national trauma that is then in your genes. And then they come with all of this security thing afterwards, all of these surveillance cameras for your protections. And I mean, what is an airport nowadays? Like Fort Knox, it's an absolute joke.
It's hideous. They've done a good job with that. I mean, we've just had another one with obviously we had the knife attacks. I'm putting all these in inverted commas on the bus or train with that Ukrainian woman who'd died multiple times in America. And we've had another one over here in the UK. Exactly the same. It then turns out that they had a simulation on that exact route of that exact thing a little while earlier. And it's people like the Ikes that are pointing this out, and everyone's just like, oh, you're just conspiracy theorists. But I think it's so important that we keep having these conversations, because at some stage, the more people that it actually clicks for, the more we can really prevent with this. Now, I wanted to ask you about the Charlie Kirk situation, which you've done 2 excellent webinars. If people really want to dive deep into that, please go to lightonconspiracies.com and look at Ole's webinars, which are just by donation, worth your time to really understand all this. But one of the things that's becoming apparent to myself, and I've also heard Candace Owens talking about it yesterday, is that over the last couple of years, we've had a huge coincidence, in inverted commas, for people not watching, that there's a lot of faith and pastors and Christianity movements involved in a lot of these things. So a lot of people are putting together the fact that you've done some amazing deep dives into the music industry, and Mark Devlin has as well, that there's often military connections. And now we're seeing that these military connections have infiltrated into the church and the ministries and the pastors. What do you think about that scenario?
For sure. It's that, unfortunately, this is the way it is. It's like, if you ask me, I'm not a religious person. I'm not here to judge any religion or whatever. I think if you do good, you be good, treat people around you lovingly, whatever faith, bless you. But when you look at how religion has been used if you look in history, it's like, it's not a nice image. If you look at the Catholic Church, what they have done with, I mean, that is very dark in many, many places around the world, what they did to native tribes and people in different countries, and also anything from choir boys. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. But what I've seen over the years is that many of these religious organizations that have turned into, I would call them sects, like the Scientologists, like other organizations like that. When you really start looking into it, you will find that there are these intelligence agencies in the background every single time. Where did they come from? But it's there, and the setup is very similar every single time. And how they lure people into. I was invited into one of these things. I did a workshop. It was the most amazing workshop. I was so alone at that, and during those years. So I mean, it was like being welcomed into a new family. I loved it. It was amazing. Then a little further down the line, suddenly they started, pulling in the strings, and suddenly I was in a corner like, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, if you don't recruit new ones, you're going to be punished for your own sake. And I was like, what on earth? This is great. Now I feel it now, because I really had to struggle to get out, and I just feel all of these people that have no idea. But so when it comes to, if you look at the States, the religion over there has gone very strange. Sorry, but for me, seen from the outside, like, holy moly, what is going on? And where it goes like this with politics, so it's like the whole thing, it goes in, and the whole with Israeli flags in the background in the church, and what? I didn't think that, I thought we were in a church, but suddenly there are all of these organizations that are working there, and then suddenly you see them backing president, people running for president, suddenly that whole, so it's like, if you look in these operations, very often you will find churches, you will find insurance companies, you will find companies that are involved in cyber security, high tech, CCTV cameras, also pension funds, and wait a second, porn. The porn industry. And these ones, that you think that, that it's spread all over the place. It's like this. It is like this. Because I was so confused for a long time. I thought, insurance companies, why do they keep popping up? But do you know how clever that is? Because everyone that are, afraid of losing their valuable stuff, they will make an insurance for it. So they will put down, well, nobody else knows, but I have this hidden under my bed, and I've got this in my mattress. I've got this and so the insurance company is like that, are often very tight with the intelligence agencies. It's like combined, knowledge. So, okay, how can we nail this one? Well, he's got this and this and this and this. Okay, we just do get into whatever. So it's an incredible surveillance program through insurance companies. The pension funds are people put money into the pension funds. They have no idea what this money is being used for, and very often people end up with finding out that the pension funds are empty. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? Very often into these type of operations. And I want to add one more: airports. When you look at the ownership of airports, international airports, I thought, oh, isn't it a stately thing? Absolutely not. And then you got pension funds and insurance companies there again, owning airports. What the hell? But it's the same. See, these facades that are sort of covering up the tracks from the guilty ones in the background, just pulling the strings. That we used to have like empires. It used to be empires and big families. Now it's like these anonymous multinational corporations like BlackRock and State Street, and these, where you have no idea who you're up against, or who are they? What is it behind these black curtains? So yeah.
And even more so, I mean, I know pulling the little bits of the threads together, there's huge push globally in all our countries. And it's interesting, like at the moment, all the focus is on the UK with the digital ID. And I was like, okay, gosh, really, are we leading the way in this then? How weird. And then I look into it and I was like, no, no, no. We're being made to look at the UK for the digital ID, and it is a massive priority for us. And there's loads going on for loads of people are waking up to this. But then you realise it's already been implemented in loads of countries, and none of us have heard anything about that. So again, my mind is, why is everyone getting everyone to look there? What's going on elsewhere? And I think the church thing is such an easy tool. You mentioned earlier, Ole, about how it goes in waves and cycles this, and they've almost, once they've sort of exhausted one wave and cycles, like there's so many people now asking questions about the Israel connections, that the perfect way to psyop people now is through their ministries and their churches. Because who wants to stand up and about that? Who wants to, it's so easy to silence people through that. And this is why I think people asking questions about, well, what is being taught here? What am I being spoken to about here in my church? And is it mind controlling me in the same way? Because I think we see very consistently that it is.
You look at the Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay,
Hmm.
so you look at the founder of the Jehovah's Witnesses. What does his tomb look like? It's a pyramid shape with an all-seeing eye and a capstone. Can it get more obvious than that? It's sort of like, and then you start seeing the whole setup and how they got like their own secret police guarding each other, and nobody's allowed to even ask questions, and they have to work for free. And you start looking at it like, holy moly, it's like sounds a bit like a criminal organization that are doing a lot of stuff. And you find yet again connected into these agencies. And then now they've started doing false flag operations so that it will
Yeah,
attack these churches as well. I want to say, when it comes to Israel, Israel is a too easy answer to throw out
much
there.
too
It,
easy.
it's it's not the country,
Yeah,
it's not the Jewish population, it's not that either. The power structure is hiding behind the Jewish population as well. With They're very hard to get a grip of, but some call them Zionists. I'm not an expert in these areas, but many of the people that are carrying a lot of these things out have dual citizenship,
yeah.
American and Israeli passports, and they are just all over the place when in power positions. They say that yeah, but Donald Trump is completely on top of it. Keep the enemy closest to you. Really, when you see his behavior, that is complete bollocks. Sorry for my French, but it makes no sense whatsoever. And that I want to point out also, you were talking about Charlie Kirk, the webinars there. Please know that it was before Charlie Kirk even appeared on stage. We had like assassination attempts that I have also done webinar on Donald Trump, which if you believe the official narrative after my presentation, I did a really lousy job, because I'm not here to prove anything or push anything down your throat. It's just I put together as good as I can. Just look here, look there, see this, see that. And you will after a while, you're just gobsmacked. At least I was. And so the Charlie Kirk thing is just a continuation on this whole agenda, where I truly believe that the Charlie Kirk thing is there to get in this individual called Erica
Yeah,
Kirk right now as the new vice president, or
yeah,
possibly the next president. I think that is part of the whole thing. So,
yeah.
but we're talking about the new world order. That's the thing. We're talking about a global elite, not a nation that is really trying to get the world into like this strangulation where they can control everything, including this digital ID, because that one is bad news. The
Very.
more the more we get into that corner, that when technology starts having us by the balls, then it's hard to get out. We still got an option. And every country, you say that England, you've been told that you are the front line, you're the ones that absolutely not. Sweden has all of these countries.
Absolutely.
And they will hear nothing about England. So it's like what is going on in the world right now is a joint effort to get you into this one world fascist state. Like, I'm sorry if I hear, messing you of bad news, but it's like there is one enemy. There's not 1,000.
Absolutely.
There's one, and it's the same agenda in every single country, more or less. So this is why I'm on. I mean, I've been into more than 1,300 times, whatever, many different countries. And it's like if I was on Greek radio or whatever, sometimes I just say, like, isn't it interesting that I actually know what's in the Greek newspapers right now? And they said, but do you speak Greek? I said, I have no idea. Have you read them? No, I've not seen a word, but I can tell you what the news are. There would be a lot more violence. There will be a lot more pointed toward immigrants. There would be the whole thing with mass stabbings and all of these and rapes, and then the rapist, which will always be somebody that has come in on a political asylum or whatever. It's a group rape, and then they're sitting in court and they are making laugh, they're making jokes and laughing at the judge and spitting on the floor, and the poor victim is sitting there crying. Nobody cares, and then they're let loose. They're let loose.
Yeah, we keep letting them loose, obviously by mistake, Ole, obviously, yeah.
Hi everyone, it's Catherine here. I want to really quickly share something that's so important to me. I love hosting this podcast because it allows us all to explore those big questions, challenge our programming, and uncover the natural truths that truly empower us. But did you know my real passion's working one-on-one with animals and people, helping you or your animal cut through the noise, find the root cause of imbalances, stress, illnesses, or really just create a personalised plan that actually works for you. So whether you're here for your own healing or you're a dedicated animal guardian, wanting the very best for your dog, cat, horse, any four-legged or scaled or winged companion, I'm here for you both. I work with animals and humans, but I especially love helping the animals thrive. That is my real happy place. So my Recharge and Reset consultations and online courses are packed with practical tools, printable resources, lifelong access, and the main thing is you'll never feel alone on this journey. And they work. Just head over to my website and check out the testimonials. So if you're really ready to take action and not just listen, head over to catherineedwards.life, that's Catherine with the C and .life at the end, and explore my courses and consults, or if you want to, book a free 15-minute chat to see if I can help, because it's really important we stop outsourcing our health, really look after our animal companions better than before, and start leading by example. Now back to the podcast. Thank you.
So, Catherine, I was talking about Greek newspapers. I was talking about German newspapers, Swiss newspapers, Swedish newspapers, and apparently it seems like I've been speaking about UK newspapers as well at the same time. You have to ask yourself, is it possible that this could be somehow coordinated? And it's not true. And look in, especially, I love it on online news page, news site, when they say it, there's the headline like 7-year-old beheaded by bishop or something like that. They love these stuff. When it's when they say the lie, they put citation marks on it. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so a teenager brutally stabbed, or mass rape done by this and that, mass rape. It's almost like, once again, with the law of karma, they're telling us it's not true. It's not true. We're just pushing it on you. So you can just read it, but people don't see the quotation. The alleged shooter who was sentenced, if he was sentenced, can he be the alleged shooter? I mean, then he should be the guilty shooter. He should just be the shooter, but alleged and then poof, or the rapist, and so much of this doesn't even happen in real life. I tell you, we were 3 people. Like, there was a Swedish police officer, an American police officer, and myself, who was like looking at this mad development in media with violence everywhere. And then you look out through the window and it looks pretty calm. How does that match up? And in when I had my monthly newsletter before, I don't have it anymore. But anyway, I was breaking down all of these things, just everything. Now there's a new gang stabbing or and so often it was not true, but people were terrorized in every single country. And so what we did was we took one date and we said, okay, now I'm going to take one newspaper and I'm going to go to the bottom of each and every of these, claimed violent things. So we did it in Spain, in England, in Spain, in the US, and Sweden, like this. Just one day, same newspaper, and we checked it out. Turned out there was no substance to any of it. Like one of them was a woman in a small city in Sweden. I mean, I grew up not far from it, so I had some contact so I could check it out. And so this woman was out walking her dog, and then this guy, a foreigner, jumped out from nowhere and stabbed her. I mean, that is awful. She survived, but awful, yeah. Okay, so I had somebody go to that city. It's not big, a big city. Went to the hospital and said, can I please speak to the doctor who took care of that woman? No, she didn't arrive here. She must have gone to another hospital. There's one hospital, okay? So he went to the police station and said, can I please see the police report, of this crime like that? The police said, no, sorry, there's no crime has been registered like that. She must have gone to another precinct. But it happened here. Why would she go somewhere else? And it kept going on like that. And then he interviewed people in that little city or town. It was more or less like 20, 30,000 people, something like that. And so he asked people and he said, so do you know that this has happened? Yes, it's awful, isn't it? So how do you know it happened? Did you see it? No, but I read about it.
Mm.
Okay, so he went to the local newspapers. And so who wrote about it? No, sorry, this was like something that was sent to us. Are you starting to see a picture here?
Absolutely.
Nothing happened. And so often nothing happened. But you open, like in Sweden, I mean, if you look at the number of alleged bombings in Sweden, it's more than during the civil war in Lebanon.
Wow.
I kid you not. And then you go there. It's like people are terrified. And then when you really start looking into who's doing the bombing, you will see it's from inside. It's
always. I mean, the fear is, we've spoken many times before, and I think most people listening will understand that fear is just the greatest control mechanism. But I wonder if you can help me out on this one, Ole, because I'm hoping you can, because I'm struggling with this one, and I'm just using this as an example because loads of people know their situation. So you've got Candace Owens, someone like Candace Owens, who is going absolutely global, digging deep into the Charlie Kirk and pointing out so many inconsistencies. And obviously Candace Owens knew, I'm saying all this as if it's fact, by the way, so just to stop, I don't want to take hours explaining it. So Candace Owens knew Charlie Kirk and worked with him for years and everything personally. And yet, when she was doing the Bridget Macron, is a man, Xavier, I forget his surname, the French journalist that really did that story and dove deep, he was using a facial recognition tool that they use a lot in China and Russia that categorically showed that Bridget Macron was the man growing up. Now, and yet they use that in that story, but they're not realizing that there's several Charlie Kirks and there's several Erita Kirks and things. So if that technology exists, which I believe it does, because look, this is what the whole facial recognition, the whole digital ID, CBDCs falls down. If that doesn't exist, then people are very selective where they use that technology. What am I missing here? And also with the fact that, let's just say, wink, wink, Charlie Kirk's still alive. These people have no morals. They have no, everyone's life is up for grabs. So why would they keep someone alive?
So I think there were several questions.
Yeah, there was about 100, sorry.
Okay, no, so in a psychological operation, you don't need any victims. It's enough if people believe that something bad happened, So, and please go to lightonconspiracies.com check out the webinars.
Yeah.
I don't say these things easily, but I break it down. Also, you said there's more than one Charlie Kirk. It sounds like absurd, but when you put them next to each other, they're three. They don't even look alike. The
Not even
teeth are
close. The teeth, the
no,
smile, the eyes, they're not
it's
even
it's
close.
it's not the same dude.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. Okay, so you take Erica Kirk, the one that approached the nation after his death and said, hello, my name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband, even though he was dead. She doesn't look anything
No.
like that. I mean, you put them next to each other. It's like, yeah, they're both blonde. That's about it. They don't even look. And I've got more than these two. There's a third one
Yeah.
who's a good, it's sort of like, so that on its own, I forgot the question, but it's like also when you look into this whole thing, there's so many things, but like for instance, there's no marriage certificate between
Yeah.
Erica and Charlie. There's no birth certificates for the kids, even though these are public, public documents that you can't sort of. And there's no names of them. There's no autopsy. There's no death certificate. There's no nothing. No, there's no medical reports. There's no evidence of the gun shells. All of it. When you look through this whole thing, it is like maybe 1,000 details. All of them completely wrong. There's not. So to say that, and I also proved very clearly that he was not even shot. The whole thing was completely staged. The background was a crowd used from a company called Crowds on Demand that you can rent this crowd, fly them in. They're just background actors, just like in a movie set. It's exactly the same. And now with AI, they need this less and less because they can just animate the background. You can do it on TikTok,
Oh, it's so easy.
not,
I was watching that yesterday. I mean, it is unbelievable what people can do with AI now and green screen. It's incredible.
So the thing is, when these people turn up, like we have this woman now, Candace Owens, beautiful woman, very intelligent, very brave, very, as far as I know, I don't listen to people hardly at all, but I have listened to some of it, and I mean, she sounds spot on. She sounds courageous, like a real reporter, the way a reporter should be. If you looked in my bio, I said ex-journalist because I don't have any faith in journalism anymore. It's up to people like you and me. The ones that are hired, yeah, really, what are you doing? Not a good lot of good. So, but you can also be somebody that is put in a situation that where you become an important voice for justice and truth and still be manipulated. Still be. I know when I was working as a journalist, I thought I was completely free until there was one story. It was about it was two parents and there was something about the child being abducted or whatever. I was writing on it, writing about it, and I was sort of taking a stand. No, an invisible hand just whoop, that whole story went like this. I was like, what happened? What I'm saying is that you have a front face that says things like Candace, but then she also said things like she was talking about these military people turning up all around Charlie Kirk, preachers, this and that, all of them former military or military, like, whoa. And turning point that she sounds like a military operation. You are correct. It is a military psychological operation. That was what it was. But anyway, so she also in that, she mentioned that, well, her boss used to be working for IDF, the Israeli military. And I'm like, whoa, that is bad news if I've ever heard it. I can only say that this individual, I don't know her boss, maybe it's a really beautiful individual, but that I would find concerning to be under the wings or control of somebody who was connected to Israeli military. Because if you look at what's going on in the world, that is bad news if I've ever heard one. And then, as far as I know, also she's married to a Jesuit priest. And when you look at what the Jesuits have done within this power pyramid in the world, it's very dark most of the time. Maybe this guy is beautiful and like he just inherited the priesthood. I have no idea. I'm just saying that is concerning to me. Then because I get a feeling when I look in her eyes when she's talking about Charlie Kirk that she really cared about whoever Charlie Kirk was. Which of the three ones? It's the one with the shorter teeth. I've seen photos of them. So it's the guy with the shorter teeth that she knew. Okay, so, but you can also be played. I've been played by people that approached me and my family, and it turned out that they were a constructed identity there to destroy us. It's like I thought we were friends. I had no idea what was going on, that I was being played. And I think sometimes you have these voices that becomes very popular. That also means great income and
But
advertisements.
she's the number one podcast now. So
you got Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan. And at the same time, I can see certain areas he just doesn't go there. Is that because he's not interested or he doesn't know? There's certain areas I don't go into because I don't know about them. Aliens, I have no clue. Ask someone else. So it's hard to know, but sometimes people are given these high, they get high paid jobs on a high position, fame and fortune and all that. But in the background, they are being controlled. When needed, they're adjusted in. And until then, let them loose. Let them be this. So I don't know what your question was about, Candace.
Well, I think one of my questions, I agree with everything you've just said that. And I think it's very complicated because, we get a lot of people go from, believing the propaganda they've been told all through school, all on TV that's a whole nother episode itself. So, it's a big shock. And then people go from this, having believed the story to thinking absolutely everything's a lie. But there's always 50 Shades of Grey in between. So just to give an example to people, very sad example, I've got 5 black cats. Someone came back and found a black cat that had been run over on my drive, and they phoned me at work and they said, Catherine, Pumpkin's been run over and killed. I'm really sorry. Shall I take him down to the vet? So I rushed the vets to meet her down there. And in my mind, I had been told my cat Pumpkin had been run over and killed. So I get to the vets and there's nothing else in my mind, but that's Pumpkin. Very sad story. Turns out it wasn't Pumpkin at all. It was my neighbour's cat that is also black, but has much shorter hair, a completely different face shape. It's my cat. I'm obsessed with my cats. But because I'd been told that was Pumpkin, I believed it was Pumpkin and I'm distraught and everything. Meanwhile, it's my poor neighbour's cat. So the mind can play tricks on us very, very easily. And my husband came back and he thought it was Pumpkin until he went out and dug the hole. This is so awful. I feel sorry for my neighbours. Dug the hole to bury Pumpkin, came back to get the box that we put outside with Pumpkin in and saw Pumpkin sitting on his car and thought, my God, I've seen a ghost. And at that stage, my daughter comes back and said, what are you talking about? This is nothing like Pumpkin. But our minds have played tricks on us with the trauma. So sometimes we don't know whether these people are having their minds. But my point with Candace was like, look, you come across as the most intelligent person ever. How can you have access to this technology to see that Bridget McCrone, the facial recognition, this man and this woman are the same people, and not use it for some of these stories? That for me is a red flag.
But has she ever been informed that there are more than 2 Charlies?
No, and that's why I think the cat story applies, because if you're told that's Charlie Kirk, look, our mind sees a tiny fraction of what's in front of us. So yes, we can be genuinely completely unaware.
It's like, this might sound like absolute madness, but there were 4 Hillarys.
Yeah.
Once again, you put them next to each other. These are official photos from official this and official that. And so you put them next to each other. One has wide hips, like really wide hips. The other one is tiny and petite. One is really old. One is quite young. There's 4 of them. They don't look anything, but they got the same haircut.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 4 of them. Why they do this? It could be security. It could be like the workload is too much. I'm in Russia. You go there. You do your speech there. You got Donald Trump.
Yes.
Okay, so Donald Trump is an important and many of these have very weird hairdo.
Very
And
deliberately, because it focuses your attention, doesn't it?
I think that is it. You know, like I was on a show about a year ago, and it was Boris Johnson's former mistress.
Yeah.
She was involved in a massive big scandal apparently in the UK. I had no idea. And anyway, so she was for I think 10 years the secret girlfriend of Boris Johnson. Okay, she said when she interviewed me, she said the one that is there now, it's not him.
Yeah.
She said that. They look the same to me on before I start putting them next to each other. Same hair.
Yeah.
And that was what confused me. I didn't look closer. It's just like a police uniform. Oh, it's a police officer. And there's another one. What did they look like? I don't know, but there were two police officers.
Yeah.
It's like and and so Donald Trump, he's officially 6'3", according to the White House, you know. So I have to trust that. So Charlie Kirk, 6'3", and Robert Kennedy Jr., 6'1". It's not a mystery. That's their height, their length. Okay. So I have a photo of them, a recent photo before Charlie died, where Charlie Kirk is standing in the middle of two people the same length, Robert Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump, same height, 6'1". And then Charlie Kirk stands up like this, boom.
Yeah.
So I ask you, how is that possible? They're standing on the same stage. Nobody's wearing like ABBA type of boots.
Yeah.
You know, there's something weird going on here. Then you have another Donald Trump who is a lot taller. So it's like, it's not massive, you know, science that you have to look into. Compare the two of them. I'm sure, Catherine, if you had a sister, I would be able to tell the difference, even if you have the same haircut. It's like that. But you just put on that hair. Don't you think like Donald Trump could afford a good hairdresser? Instead, he has this weird thing going on, like a trademark.
Yeah.
So, and then you put on this whole, and you do a little of that, and you speak like this, and you do a little 666, and everybody thinks it's Donald Trump. No, it's not. So which one is it? Dick Gregory, who was a comedian in the US who became a real heavyweight going into especially the Martin Luther King assassination. It was a friend of his. Anyway, before he died, he said, come on, folks, please be aware that two Donald Trumps, one with a red tie, one with a blue tie, they're not the same person. You never see the one with a blue tie together with his wife because he's too short. And, you know, and the red one is doing one thing, the blue one is doing another. It's Joe Biden, how many of those? Prince Charles. It's like, it's not just one, it's like all over the place where you have to like, whoa, what is going on here? And so I just like to get the facts straight. So I know, okay, fine, if there is four, then I won't, you know, buy into it right away. I know that there's a chance of me being manipulated in this.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It is very interesting, and our minds do play tricks with us. And actually, I have to say, it was only when that incident happened with my cat that I thought, oh my God, I can see how innocent people, you can't see it when you're that close. You know, that's the whole point, when you're that close. So, you know, someone like Candace, yes, she could be controlled opposition. I think at the moment she's brilliant, but I've been wrong before. But equally, you know, we have to filter. Our brains filter so much information going into them. It's very easy to miss those points. But if I'd like her to get that facial recognition thing out and start looking deep into it. So moving on to more positive things. I mean, this has all been really useful for me.
Sorry, Catherine, can I just say, sorry to interrupt you. I was on James Delingpole's.
I heard that. Yeah.
He had interviewed Charlie Kirk, and he was saying that, because I was talking about more than one, and he was like, "Oh my God, maybe that explains it," because the one that he was introduced to, was not charismatic. It sounded like he was just had rehearsed the whole thing. And so I asked him, "So which one did you meet?" Because like, you know, it'd be interesting if he took any photos or whatever to check the dental records on that dude. I tell you, it would be not the original one, whoever
Yeah.
that was. Because it's also when you see there's this movie Snake Eyes
Yes.
that is very, very. I mean, in 1998, there was a movie with Nicolas Cage where a politician is being shot in the throat, exactly where Charlie Kirk was shot. It happened on the 10th of September, exactly the same date as Charlie Kirk was shot. And by the way, he was shot in the States. So the 10th of September had already turned into 9/11 in Australia, Asia, and Europe when he got shot in the States. This is how they, so it was an anniversary on 9/11. They love to get these things going. Anyway, so in that movie, this politician is being shot in the neck exactly where on the same date. His name is Charles Kirkland, the politician. Okay, so also when he is being shot in the turmoil when he gets shot, there's this boxing match going on, and the fighter, one of the fighters, have been paid to go down. His name is Tyler, the Executioner.
Mm.
Tyler, exactly the same name as that. Okay, so I had a mathematician check out what would be the what do you call it? The
Probability.
probability exactly from these details, and there was a lot more going on that they could fit in like that, and it was like 2.3 trillion. Like being hit by lightning is like in the millions. Here, trillions. Do you know how many more? So that on its own is just like, and I want to point out also that in that movie, which is, by the way, the boxing, the whole where massive big room where the boxing match is set up is more or less identical to the State Farm Stadium in Arizona, where they had the alleged funeral, which wasn't a funeral, by the way, but it's the exact same layout, set up, the flags, everything is all. So and it was filmed at the Taj Mahal Hotel owned by Donald Trump. And anyway, so in the movie, there's this lady in white that almost looks a little bit like Erica Kirk, the new one, who also was dressed in white when she approached the nation instead of black, where you would think that would be more suitable because her husband had just been murdered. Anyway, so the actress that is sitting next to Charles Kirkland when he gets shot in the neck, boom, exactly the same place. Her real name, the actress name is Carla Ludio, if I remember right, Carla Ludio. And right now, she is in a TV series called Heads of State, where she plays the Vice President Elizabeth Kirk. I mean,
come on, yeah.
What are the probability that these type of things? It just goes on and on and on and on and on.
It's so important you raise that. One interesting thing I say, did you actually watch the film?
No, not yet.
No, nor did I. Now, my friend watched the film. She actually sat down after Charlie Kirk to check this because she'd seen the rumours. And she watched that film and she said, now I haven't watched it, so I can't back it up. She said, hang on a minute, it didn't happen on September the 10th at all. So
But
I don't,
that's not true.
yeah.
No, that's not true, because on the poster of the boxing match in the movie, it says 10th of September.
Right. It'd just be really interesting again to see from comments for people that have really watched it. And we know that things can be manipulated as well. But it was just so interesting. Her and her partner sat there and watched it and said, where did everyone... Yeah.
It's on the poster.
Right.
So it's on the outside of the building on the poster. You can find it there.
Right. Really interesting. So to finish off, I would like you to tell everyone about a couple of really exciting things that are happening where you and your lovely partner are taking control of things and setting up Cellaloo, and also you've got some retreats to tell people about. Let us know how we can get involved and how people can find out more.
Yeah, so at the moment, like I said to you, I can't move freely anymore. It's very odd to say that. I think this on its own should just make massive question marks to see that's highlight that there's weird things going on. But anyway, I mean, I haven't done anything violent in my life. I don't kick at dogs, you know. I'm not foul in the mouth. I'm not racist, and still I can face prison sentences that are longer than for murder in Sweden. It makes you wonder. So, but otherwise, so I can't really go to NATO countries at the moment because I've been a naughty boy and been pointing my finger in that direction for a very, 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 very long time. So instead, I said, why don't we arrange retreats here in Bali? Bali is somewhere that people would love to come anyway. It is an amazing, amazing place. We love it. We love it here. And so in April, from the 18th to the 25th, 7 days straight, we're arranging for a retreat for English speaking. That's going to be one for Scandinavian speaking 2 weeks earlier. It's a limited space. There's only room for 25. And it is in the most beautiful setting. I tell you, up in Siddaman, there's, I mean, we love it. We even had our wedding ceremony there, the Indonesian style wedding ceremony where we look like Christmas trees with lipstick and the whole shebang in that place. The owner, her name is Mama Aki. She's a Balinese high priest, and she's just the best. And they take such good care of us. But anyway, so that's where it's going to be. And then for 7 days, I will do my utmost to really empower people and change their life. This is my intention, so that they will leave transformed, uplifted, and positive, and hopeful, and energized by many, many things. I'm going to be there 24/7, you know, yeah, around the clock for everyone. And also what I'm going to do is to have like an education on how to see through the bullshit, how to sharpen your eyes and see what is it I'm looking for, you know, and how do I decode these operations? How can I even learn how to find the hidden clues and be part of stopping these very violent attacks? I mean, I've been told, the people that I've checked it out, that I've saved maybe more than 10,000 lives just by showing what's going to go down. And, you know, so it's not just empty words. It's not just theory. This is hands-on, where you can actually become part of the solution. So I call this education to become a Dammegårdian, a protector of truth and clarity. And you're even going to get a certificate that you are a certified Dammegårdian. And yeah, so that's happened in April. I think if you can please share the links below. I tell you, if this is not going to be absolutely incredible experience, I will have completely failed, because I know what Bali has done to us and what it's done to so many other people, and with the settings and the surroundings and all of it in a combo, incredible food, incredible beauty, incredible kindness all around. It is just boom, amazing. So anyway, that's that. But also what we are, Kim and I, my sweetheart Kim and I, have had a dream for about 25 years to create like a neighborhood, not a community, not a gated anything like that, but a neighborhood where like-minded friends, not like-minded, like-minded friends, big heart, small ego, under control. You, Catherine, would be a perfect individual. If anyone is wondering what type of individual, Catherine is one. And where these are people handpicked from around the world that have proved themselves through fire, who've been able to stand up against injustices and stand in truth, and where they mean to do good, to lift the world on all levels, you know, animals, nature, humans, all of it, and create what we call selalu. Selalu means always in Bahasa Indonesian. And if it's okay with you, I'll share you the link to a video presentation we've done. And that has now, we've been trying to do it for 25 years in many different countries, and no. And then suddenly here, 4 months ago, it just opened up. And now it's full on. It's like, it's on a mountainside where we have a whole valley and mountainside to a Balinese friend of ours who is controlling the land in that area. It's way up. It's not in a touristic area. It's away from traffic. It's away from tourists. It's away. So it's not for everyone, but it's up there and it's absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful. And up there, my intention, or Kim's and my intention with Cellulite, is that it would become this hub of creativity. All of these wonderful, wonderful people, inventors and doctors and so-called ordinary people, whatever that means, but with the heart in the right place, where all of us, when we come together, and instead of me having to travel like 4,000 kilometers and risk my safety, whatever, to come and visit you, Catherine, I can just take, without even shoes, I'll just walk down there and we'll have a coffee. Boom! How good is that? And then we gather around the fire in the evenings, and we also, the intention is to have like a shala, like a meeting place for about 150 people, so that we can have retreats and speakers and bands. Also, the dream is to get a recording studio there, just like what was his name? The Beatles producer, Gordon. Forgot his name. Come on, what the hell? But he created this music studio after he finished with Beatles. He created a recording studio on a tropical island, quite similar to Bali, and a lot of bands came there and recorded incredible music in record speed. You know, instead of being completely drugged up over their ears in London and having all the stress and all the distractions, boom, they came to this place, and it just like suddenly it just flew, the creativity and everything like that. So that, and a big art barn also. Kim loves to paint, and she wants other people to join. And so, but it would also be like with inventors, you know, like magnet engines, free energy, water-driven energy, you know. And also with food gardens, and a lot also to do with paying back to the locals, you know, involved and really do what we can for the area. And so in beauty, in harmony. So what we're doing right now, if this is something that resonates with you who are listening, it has to be serious, okay? Because we're being bombarded with inquiries. And if you are not completely serious, please don't waste your time or our time, because it is an alignment process also. We need to talk to you, ask you some questions, to show you have questions for us. And then you have to come here also to see, is Bali for you? Because it is not. It's not this postcard. It is in certain areas, but it's also very hot and very humid. And in certain locations, the traffic is a nightmare for Westerners. I love it, but I don't, you know, so it's not for everyone. And this is also away from civilization, not completely, but it's way out there. And yeah. So I tell you, I can't wait. And we built almost 2 kilometers of road, because this is a hard area to get to. So we already built, and this is like, I say we built, we financed it. I mean, it's hard work for these people, but they're so grateful also that we're bringing in work through them. We're bringing in electricity and water, and so that would be shared with everyone. So anyway, so please contact me, info@lightonconspiracies.com, with plural, conspiracies.com. And if it feels right, we'll send you info with some questions also. And if it feels right, we'll just set up a Zoom meeting and see how we get on. And yeah, it's like we've never done anything like this before. We're Bali babies. We've been here 5 years now, just a few days ago. So it is very different. The culture is very different. The way of thinking, very different. The way of everything is very different. And so we have, by our side, we have a beautiful friend, a close friend here. Her name is Tori, who's been here for 40 years, who is an entrepreneur, really, really advanced entrepreneur, and who has also a team of a legal team, a team when it comes to installing electricity, a team when it comes to construction, a team. So she has over the years found the perfect people for these different tasks, because we want to make this as smooth a ride as possible. It is a very complex ride that we're planning, but to make it as smooth as possible, because we don't want conflicts. We're not greedy individuals. We're not in it for the money, but it's to make it smooth, and that takes time. So we're right now in the process of the topography and soil tests and building roads, and it's massive. But I tell you one thing is that I have complete faith that this is happening.
Yeah.
I never owned a house. I never owned it. It's not been interesting for me. This place is. So it's going to be amazing to see it happen.
I think it's absolutely incredible what you and Kim are doing. And I think it's a real, lesson for everyone to leave this episode with. Obviously, all the links will be below. If you're listening on the podcast, then they'll all be in the show notes. But also you can contact Ole or me and we'll send all the information through to you. Please check it out, because, it's a time where people can really sort of say, actually, I'm now going to take responsibility for creating, not just being used to create things for other people that we don't want. Ole, thank you so much for your time today. I always learn so much. I enjoy so much talking to you. Thank you so much, and I'm sure we will be back.
Sounds great. And can I say, anyone listening out there, for us, we're not rich people, and especially now in the beginning, there's so many things that, just the construction of the roads, construction of ditches, construction of water pipes, all of these things, it's money out before we can even begin to map the area. So on the link that is down below, there's the possibility to donate. It is extremely appreciated. And I guarantee, I swear by whatever, that the money will go straight into this whole thing and make this beautiful thing happen. Also on my website, like on Conspiracies, there are donation buttons also to fund and sponsor what I do here. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, it's so amazing. And please do consider even little bits, because even if you're not drawn to actually go and live as part of the neighborhood, all of the people watching this are going to be the type of people that are going to want to go out on the retreats and see what is possible. And also you're putting any little donation into creating something that is the way that we want to be living, even if you're not ready to participate in that straight away. So please do consider that. Ole gives all his time for these interviews, completely uncharged, completely huge amounts of effort go into all this knowledge. So it's a wonderful way for us to all give a little bit back. Thank you, Ole. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And if you feel inspired, please do share with your friends and family. This helps us spread the word and also helps me encourage some exciting new guests to take part in this podcast. And above all, stay curious and stay free.